How you doing? Hi, Clyde and Clyde. Clyde. Hi, Dominic. How you guys doing? Sorry I'm a little late. Technical difficulties. Nah, just sort of it's a user problem. I think. Is the sound okay and the video okay? Hey, Brian. How you doing? Oh, good. Everything's working. It's good to hear. I things have gotten sort of crazy busy lately, so anyhow, uh, hey neighbor, good to see you. Think we're having a sunny day today. I certainly hope so. Hi Jerome, Big Sal, good to see you guys. Hey, love for watches. How are things in Portugal? I visited Portugal a number of years ago. Loved it there. Hi Syed, Equus, mid-30s, lots of sun. That's what we're getting. We need lots of sun. Hi John, quarter eye. Hokey doke. What I thought would be a good topic today uh, would be to talk about um, quality. I mean, what are we really talking about? And the part of it would does a watch have is if you have two watches and one is more expensive than the other, does that mean one has better quality? That's like to kick around those ideas. One of the things I want to start off with, and this may sound a little strange, in fact, I can almost guarantee it sounds a little strange. There's a type of what I call soulless quality, and a soulless quality is something where everything is done just perfect. Okay. In other words, there's everything is exactly the same. The everything from the gear train to the englages, all of it is perfect. And if you take a watch from number 1 to 1,000 and look at them, you can't tell the difference. But the in terms of the putting the watch together and having them work well, they all do that. And but there's missing something, and I don't know whether that's me or there's something looking for something more in a watch in terms of that kind of quality. In other words, something I was looking at my Larique, and there's so many different little things about it that I remember when it was going through production, uh, what what was going on and the people working on it. I know who did the case, the movement, the dial, the hands, well, these are replacement straps, Jean Rousseau, but it's like it to me. It has its own type of soul. I feel the same way about this Vacheron Content 10. I It's something about it that is more soulful. So let me get your ideas on that. Is that something that's just weird? Hi, Richard. How are things in Spain? Goldfinger, good morning. Uh-oh. Is the sound gone, guys? Is there no sound? Oh, no heart. Yeah, that's right. I thought you said no here. Let's see. Hi, Bobby. Charisma. Watch from Miami. How are things, Miami? Phoenician Cedar. Hey, how you doing? From Sydney, HRM. I wish more brands would offer customization of bridges and jewels. I have a pocket watch that features rubies, emeralds, and sapphires. Makes for fun looking movement. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think I know what you mean there. Oh, good. Sound and everything's gone. All right. Um, Hi, Vincenzo. How are things in Italy? Are you saying Rolexes have no soul? I didn't say that. You said it. Ranchers, ranchers saying Rolexes have no soul. I don't know. Maybe if you drop one two or three times. I was thinking more of Seiko. Seiko has such good watches, but I have a feeling they have the Japanese have a way of making them all perfect. um, I was also thinking of Tag Heuer of all brands. A few years ago, Tag Heuer was bragging about this new production line they had, and it was all computer driven and everything. And I was thinking, yeah, that's so it wasn't Rolex that you were thinking of, Rancher. Hey, Sam's dad, mustache wax. Quality to me means that the watch does not break and it keeps good time. Now that's yeah, to me that was what I was. Yeah, that's certainly a type of quality, and I think um, you can have that, but is that why not just get a smartwatch? It keeps good time. My God, my wife has a smartwatch she wears all the time, and I think she's dropped it more than once, and it keeps on ticking. Too perfect sometimes is just cold looking. Dominic, that's exactly the sense I was talking about. Um, something I'd like to see something, maybe a little scratch on one of the gears that the watchmaker was putting together and had or something like that, or some other kind of thing. Let me tell you one of the things that added, I think, a great deal of soul to our Larique watch. At some point in time, Agenor made, actually was an award-winning one too, made a watch, and there was in the gear itself, there were these star-crossed lovers, a shooting star and a kite, and a boy and a girl, and those were in the lugs. I mean, not the lugs, but the spokes of the gearing. And so here we have. So I know that going around on one of the gears here are these star-crossed lovers, and it's something like, it doesn't make it more accurate. It doesn't improve it in strictly horological ways. But my God, it makes it more fun, I think. Hey, Angus. That's why I like quirky watches. It's a sign of international intentional design instead of just grab bag of components. There you go. Well put, Angus. HRM. I recently saw a great video from Nomos. They manufacture everything in-house with machines, but all decoration is hand done. That's interesting. That is really interesting. I didn't know that. Um, you're talking about the Geneva stripes not lining up. You're right. I hadn't thought of that. What happened was that the on ours, the Geneva stripes got a little off-centered because of some changes that actually we asked for, and they had a plate that had gone with this other plate. Everything was all lined up nice and straight, and something happened that we added to it. I think first of all, we wanted windows. We wanted to see as much gear as possible. And then they put in this Agonese gear with these little springs in it that runs our second hand. And so I that's another thing exactly. They're fixing it in a new one apparently. Probably have to fix some other things too. Hey Philip, how you doing? Peterman Bedot, yes, they are really good. The thing about watches by Peterman Bedot, F.P. Jorn, Caribou, and a lot of these guys, they all have the very soulful in lots of ways. Your Belforce's Handmade is another example. A French kid, Cyril, I forgot what his name is. All of his stuff is that way, very soulful. But then I don't know. I I brought it up. Now, some very expensive watches, like Patek Philippe, do they have good quality? Yeah, they have good quality. Uh, they they really do. They also have silicon hairsprings that is part of the reason why they work so well. I mean, it's sort of like, do I want it more like a quartz watch? So everything is, they've got lots of silicon in it and they work perfectly well with it. We never did need going back to these hand wound automatics. That was really unnecessary. In other words, what happened, we went to the quartz watches, and now, I mean, you want to look at a quantum leap, then look at the smartwatches, the Apple Watch. My God, that's not only do they keep perfect time, but every now and then I see my watch talking to it like Dick Tracy. She wears one. Okay. Vincent, for me, quality is about technical side, like free sprung balance. Well, sometimes free sprung balance, sometimes I'll take a curb regulator, and here's why. The free sprung balance, all of the watches by Swatch, by Patek Philippe, that have the silicon hairspring, they have to have a free sprung balance because they can't have something elegant like a swan neck regulator where you can turn a little screw and in the swan neck will move the spring. You do that to a silicon spring, it'll bust. No. HRM, I've fallen in love with Laurent Ferrier's late. Such incredibly beautiful watches. Yeah, they are. They're really quite good. There's something about Laurent Ferrier he's sort of a spirited guy. He used to be a race driver, and I don't know if he was on the same team or raced against what's his name, that movie star. Uh, uh, Anyway, but he sort of had another real life. I think he worked at Patek Philippe for a while too, but I could be wrong about that. Good morning, Lee. How you doing? Who's in a pit, and did you feel the earthquake? Oh, you guys, Fracking Gulch has been having more earthquakes. They're fracking and rocking, and that's why they're having earthquakes. Man, good grief. It's sort of, they have their own personal ring of fire. Hey, John, Moser is going in partnership with F1 Racing. Can't wait to see the results. Yeah, I saw that. You know, You know who did it really, who a very early one is, Agenor did with Singer. I mean, into a real thing that they had a, sort of for motorsports, they have the ultimate watch for it. Yeah, that is gonna be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, HRM, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, Paul Newman, that's who I was trying to think of, Brian. Yeah, he knew Laurent Ferrier knew Paul Newman from when he was racing in the Monte Carlo circuit. I don't know if it was Formula One or what it was, but yeah, I think they were on competing teams, I believe. No, it wasn't Steve McQueen. It was Paul Newman. But thanks, John. Those are, among among the many interesting racers. Was Speed Racer based on him, and is Chin Chin helping him in the workshop? Who knows? Headquarters, is it true that Vestal and Constantins are moving away from using the Geneva seal on some of their models? Well, quarters eye, what they did, they weren't moving away from it. It didn't quite hit the kind of quality that wasn't bad quality so much. It was the 56. There was the entry level 56 has a movement by Val Fluier, and it's only the first introductory, the cheapest one that didn't get the Geneva seal. The second one, I think it's some date or something one called the 56 something date, beautiful watch. It does have it. So it depends on it. It wasn't really, they're not moving away from it, except insofar as they're trying to create some line of watches that have the best Rome content and quality and other aspects, and but are a little different movement. Hey, Bobby, do you know what would be cool if you would do a video on Teddy, our Swiss watch cam? I don't think that. I don't think they need any advice from me or any comments by me, Bobby. I think they know they can do okay. Okay, I found an enamel painted Ulysse Nardini with my favorite Swiss view on it. It has a castle at Montreux and Lake Geneva. Cool. Roger Smith was the original speed racer. Oh, was he? I didn't know that. I didn't know Smith was into speed racing. It's interesting. Okay, about quality now. Where were we? Um, the one of the things, you know, I've been playing a lot with my Moritz Grossmann, and it keeps really terrific time. All right. But it does it at a very slow frequency. It does it at 18,000 semi oscillations per hour. Now, where you see some brands, they're trying to increase the frequency so that they can increase the accuracy. And in a way, it's sort of a fool's errand insofar as that quartz, I think, vibrates at 32,000 hertz, not semi oscillations per hour, but hertz. Whereas 5 hertz are beating the tar out of the movement, out of the parts and everything. And they may get more accuracy. But one thing that one of the reasons I've always liked lower frequencies is that in order for them to keep good time, everything has to be of a higher quality. The parts have to be a higher quality. Everything in the wheel train has to be a higher quality. The balance spring, the escapement, the whole kit and caboodle. And so when I was looking at this guy and hook him up to my time grapher, if you've ever worked the time grapher, you'll see that it takes a while. It's sort of adjusting. It'll say like 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 and so on and so forth, and finally settles down. What this watch did was like started with 0, then it went +1, -1, 0. I mean, it was, and here it is at 2.5 hertz. And so that's, people say, well, why do you like the lower frequency? That's one reason. Plus the fact that I know it's not, treating the movement inside like, beating it like a rented mule. It's Tyson. Anyway, but I've been told by watchmakers, they didn't think I was right. So they would know, and I'm just speculating. Or maybe I know, and there's something that generations of watchmakers have missed that simple truth, that simple pretentious truth, I might add. Okay, what else you guys have? He was into antique car racing, is what I read. Oh, how cool. So was Derek Pratt and George Daniels, come to think of it. I saw some pictures of George Daniels and especially Derek Pratt, who is a good friend of his. And of course, he developed some of the movements for Urban Jurgensen, the P4 that both the Rancher and I have on our watches. So, yeah. Thanks, Lee. That was good. I never knew that. I'd love to build a resonance watch. Hey, I've already done my movement. I already built the resonance movement thanks to that little help from Dominic's son. And it's a lot of fun. I've been planning to make a clock, a resonance clock from that, and have if I haven't already broken both the movements. Here's where I had my two movements, and it worked. Here's a cardboard insert that I had with it too to show that cardboard wouldn't work. And the reason that was important is that it had to be on the resonance in part was through the metal. Look at that. I'm doing tricks. Okay. Oops. Anyway, that was another thing. It reminded me of quality. One of the things that it's funny, of all of the brands, both ETA and Sellita have different grades, and the grades are based on the number of adjustments. Okay, if you get the lowest grade, I think they give you it's been regulated to like 2 adjustments. And I regulated the daylights out of this guy, and I don't know why I should be surprised. Or tell him, boy, yeah, that's what you ought to do, and it worked. Thing keeps great time. This is something a pretentious watchmaker product. This is the Breguet Nouveau, and it's remarkably. It keeps surprising me, and like I said, one of the parts of the quality is the number of, well, the number of positions it was, well, it was adjusted in and then looked at the other ones. Uh, our Larique, there are 6 positions that watches are generally considered the top if you adjust it to 6 positions. Our watch was adjusted to 6 positions. Now, some watchmakers say, look, it only takes 5 positions. I think this position and this position, that would be crown left and crown right, are really exactly the same. And so they said, well, those don't count. Maybe they should do it this way. Yeah, that might be a better way. And then that would be all 6 positions. And how they do it, I think they have machines that I don't have. We pretentious watchmakers, we get what we can. Hey, Caesar, how you doing, man? Another interesting guy is Gianni Bugari. He made some very unique watches and raced the most expensive Ferrari ever sold. Wow. Yeah, the Bugari family are their watches. Uh, sort of like from the Octo Roma on up have been really nice, nice watches. BVL 19 or BVL 119 are the movements in them. Hard to keep up the live times with so much traveling. Yeah, I know. Well, you need a dual time. Dual time will help you a lot. HR Salida doesn't use Gluster balance wheel. Oh, okay. I believe it. Frying pan time. It is time for me to hang up my sock. Um, again, I need ranchers' help to come up with a really fun topic that we can talk about today at 4 o'clock when we have our second one, our afternoon one. And for the rest of you guys, thanks for getting up so early for our talk, and hope to see you this afternoon. Take care.